Natarinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. श्रीमद् भागवतम ग्रंथ राज की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, हिताय को सीतनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. So today our verse for the Srimad Bhagavatam is 447 of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is Sati quits her body.
4:27
27 Prabhu 7 ഇട്ടിരിക്കുന്നതാണ് എന്റെ വിശ്വാസം. ഞാൻ ഒന്നുകൂടി നോക്കട്ടെ. ഇന്ന് രാവിലെ Prabhu, I'm very bad at numbers. Sorry, I saw 7 only. Okay, I'll go for 27. I only saw the 7. The 2 I did not see. Okay, fine. 4:27. Okay. Tata swabhartuscharanaambujasavam jagadguru chintayati na chaparam tadarsha deho hata kalmasha sati satya prajajvala samadhi jagnina. Sati concentrated all her meditation on the holy lotus feet of her husband Lord Shiva, who is the supreme spiritual master of all the world. Thus she became completely cleansed of all taints of sin and quit her body in a blazing fire by meditation on the fiery elements. Purport Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Very good.
Okay. This sloka is the subject matter for this chapter. This is the very verse she is living or quitting her body. I thought that is the one gracious of the Sati at once thought, am I audible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Okay. Sati at once thought of the lotus feet of her husband, Lord Shiva, who is one of the 3 great personalities of Godhead in charge of the management of the material world, and simply by meditating on his lotus feet, she derived such a great pleasure that she forgot everything in relationship with her body. This pleasure was certainly material because she gave up her body for another body that was also material. But by this example, we can appreciate the devotee's pleasure in concentrating his mind and attention on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, Vishnu or Krishna. There is such a transcendental bliss in simply meditating on the lotus feet of Lord that one can forget everything that the Lord stands in his form. This is the perfection of yogic samadhi or ecstasy. In this verse, it is stated that by such meditation, she became free from all contamination. What was that contamination? That the contamination was her concept of body derived from that chant, but she forgot that bodily relationship is in trance. The purport is that when one becomes free from all bodily relationships within this material world and simply places himself in the position of an eternal servant of the Supreme Lord, it is to be understood that all the contamination of his material attachment has been burned by the blazing fire of transcendental ecstasy. It is not necessary for one to manifest a blazing fire externally, for if one forgets all his bodily relationship within this material world and becomes situated in his spiritual identity, it is stated that one was freed from all material contamination by the blazing fire of yogic samadhi or ecstasy. That is the topmost perfection of yoga. If one keeps his bodily relationship within this material world and possesses himself as a great yogi, he is not a bona fide yogi. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2.14.15, it is stated yat kirtinam, yat smaranam. Simply by chanting the holy name of Supreme Personality of Godhead, simply by remembering the lotus feet of Krishna, simply by offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is immediately free from material contamination, the material bodily concept by blazing fire of Rashtrakuta. This effect takes place immediately without a second delay. According to Sri Jiva Goswami, that Sati quit her body means that she gave up within her heart her relationship with the Daksha. Sri Chakravarti Thakur also comments that since Sati is the supreme deity of the external potency, when she quit her body, she did not get a spiritual body but a simply transformed from the body she had received from Daksha. Other commentators also say that she immediately transferred herself into the womb of Manaka, her future mother. She gave up the body she had received from Daksha and immediately transferred herself to another better body. But this does not mean that she got a spiritual body. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here this is a wonderful purport wherein here it is said that Sati, she realized that when she entered the arena itself, she realized that she was not given, in the sense like her husband was not given the necessary, valuable, authenticated respect. So for that reason, what she thought is that, okay, since Daksha is the person who have given her this particular body, and just because of her connection with Lord Shiva, she was not given a particular, means her husband was not given that particular respect. So what happened is that Sati thought that, okay, if this body, that is this material body, is the connection between me and Daksha, then I better not, have this particular body itself. I don't want this material asset itself. This is what she particularly thought so. So therefore, she decided that she will totally discard this particular body and go for another body. Though if both are material, yet she didn't want any tinge of attachment with Daksha totally. So therefore, she concentrated herself totally on the lotus feet of her husband, that is Lord Shiva. And because Lord Shiva is, in spite of being the foremost of the Vaishnavas, he is also the spiritual master for all the conditioned souls. We know that Lord Shiva, so much of glories of Lord Shiva is there. We know that Lord Shiva is totally benevolent to the most downtrodden living entities. Nobody else would like to even take authenticity about such debased souls, but Lord Shiva, he totally took full charge about such totally souls who are getting devastated almost a material body. And so therefore she wanted to become totally pure, totally leave off all her connections with Daksha and just discard this particular body. Now, if we want to totally eradicate, now we all know that Cheto Darpanam Arjanam, Bhava Mahadava, Nirvapadam, all this we know. So if a total destruction of a particular thing is required, that is, that thing should never be, it should never be born again, or it should never be again coming up into life. For that, fire is the element which is being used. So just like we know the Leela of when in the Dwaraka, before Dwaraka was about to totally, or rather the Leela of Krishna Leela was totally about to close. We know the story of Samba, how he got cursed with from the rishis, and he delivered a big iron log, and this the Dwarakavasis wanted to totally devastate this iron log, and so they blazed it out. The fire blazing was done. But since the Lord's intervention was there and the Lord's desire was there, though it got burnt up, still it again popped up into in the samudra or in the sea of Dwaraka again. But for a complete devastation, it is fire, the main fire element, what of the all the Panchabhutas, what conditioned souls use. So same way, in order to quit her body, she lit up the fire, which was from her meditation, and that is how she totally gave up her body. Now, this particular aspect of Sati, of what Mother Sati did, is actually a different version, like in the sense like she did Sati to respect, because she did not get enough respect for her husband, and she also wanted to totally devastate this particular body because it had connection with Daksha. Now, the modern way of, or rather a little bit, Kali Yuga started, the modern trend of Sati is what? Okay, the husband dies, so therefore the wife should follow suit by lighting herself in the same fire of her husband. This is how in Kali Yuga, the conditioned souls take a total twist of all the Shastric evidences. Sati, she did not have any external, she did not use any external Panchabhuta. She, out of her own Tapo Shakti, because she was a chaste woman, out of her own Tapo Shakti, she, came and she blazed out the fire from her own meditation, that is. And who was she meditating on? On the lotus feet of her husband, that is Lord Shiva. So at that particular moment, Sati totally thought about Lord Shiva, and she decided to quit that body because she knew that there was absolutely no way that she can otherwise, the external fiery elements she doesn't want. This is how actually a pure, a chaste wife is. She doesn't want that any other man or any other element also touch her body apart from her own husband. So in this situation is what Sati, what she did is that she totally forecasted, or rather had a complete meditation on the Supreme Personality of Godhead and also on Lord Shiva, because Krishna or Lord Vishnu is her supremacy. She owes a lot to Lord Vishnu, mainly because she got Lord Shiva through the mercy of Lord Vishnu. So her dedication, or rather her devotion towards Lord Krishna is something different. It is on a very high level. And it was Lord Vishnu actually who fixed the marriage between Lord Shiva and Sati herself. Now, here the Prabhupada speaks about concentration of the mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, when we are concentrating our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, what happens is that here it is said that total everything, whatever we, all our aspects of devotion is completely focused there. When we are focusing our mind on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, it is said that all the bhaya is totally gone. Because when bhaya, what is our greatest bhaya? Our greatest bhaya is of death. But when she completely focused her concentration on the lotus feet of the Lord, at that time her fear factor itself is gone, because she had completely surrendered. This is the art of actually surrendering. Because when we are in complete devotion or in complete love with a particular personality, that surrender automatically comes, because love brings up that surrender. So in the same way, Sati was totally dedicated to the worship of Krishna and also the sincere service towards Lord Shiva. So she knew, or she was at that time also meditating on the words that Lord Shiva had told her before she started off from Kailas. So he had warned her that Sati, it's better you don't go and visit your father, because you will feel totally sorry for your visit there. But she, out of filial love towards her father, she wanted to go. And as soon as she came into the arena, we know that only her mother and her sisters received her. But even though the mother and the sisters received her, she was not at all happy with that reception. She wanted that her father receives her. But the father was totally unattached to the child. So in such a situation, and then on top of that, she saw that when the oblations was offered into the fire, uh, nothing was dedicated to Lord Shiva. So this also caused her so much of an insult. One point is there, when a lady feels insult, she is like a wounded lioness. It is always, if you see, lion is there and the lioness is there. Both are the king and the queen of the jungle. But the lion, he knows how to, capture his prey. All that ways, his logical thinking is working on. But the female part, that is the lioness, once she is wounded, she keeps remembering her wound all the time. That is that. What do you say? That vengeance is always there for the lioness. She never leaves her prey. So in the same way, most of the ladies, those who are not able to completely, those who are not completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord, or complete devotional service is not up to the peak, they have their vengeance within their heart. They keep it up, they harp it a lot. So same way, what happens is that Sati, she couldn't forego this particular act of her father, and that vengeance was kept for her. So therefore, what happened is that she thought that she will discard her body and enter into the yogic samadhi. Yogic samadhi is a lady, because of her own chastity, she has her own tapo shakti, wherein she is able to, this is in the previous yugas, in Kali Yuga, of course, that is not going to happen. So with her own tapo shakti, she created the fire, and with her own Agni, she totally discarded her own body and made it into completely into ashes. So here, this was her means of totally eradicating her relation with Daksha. After that, Daksha did feel sorry, but what is the point in crying over spilled milk? Now, about talking about her next body, here it is said that other commentators also say that there are comments about the fact that she immediately transferred herself into the womb of Menaka, her future mother, and she gave up the body she had received from Daksha and immediately transferred herself into another better body. But this does not mean that she got a spiritual body. Of course, for a spiritual body, spiritual meditation is of course required, and of course it is the mercy of the Supreme Lord that through Guru that one enters into the spiritual realm. But Sati had her desires. As long as the desires are there, to get a spiritual body is absolutely it is not going to happen. So what she did is that she completely focused that she wanted to become again the wife of Lord Shiva only. Her desire to stop serving Lord Shiva is to serve Lord Shiva was even more. It had even more aggravated. So in this way, she thought that she didn't want any connection with Daksha because he totally had insulted Lord Shiva, and she wanted to continue serving Lord Shiva in a better body, so that her connection with Daksha is gone and she is free-minded to serve Lord Shiva. And therefore, again, she entered into her. That is a long cycle. That is another lifetime of hers, when she again enters into a tapo shakti. She takes birth, and then she goes into serving Lord Shiva as Mother Parvati. So the characteristics of a woman is actually very interesting to note. And this we should understand that every verse of the Bhagavatam actually gives us so much of insights into how the different characters, that is a male, a female, a guru, all the psychological or the emotional aspects of different categories are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. Now, if we take the case of the Brahmana Patnis, the Brahmana Patnis were quite sober in heart. But the Brahmanas, when Lord Krishna, when the friends of Lord Krishna came to ask for the yajna offerings, they totally rejected. But they did not realize that whom are they offering it to? The person whom they are offering, they wanted to offer to, has already come live, but they didn't realize it. But Brahmana Patnis did not, completely upon their emotional love towards Krishna, and also their surrendered aspects are also there. As a result of which, they totally gave their whatever they had cooked, the bhoga, they completely offered it to Krishna and his friends. So this is what at times, the emotional backup is also required. But logical thinking always doesn't work sometimes when it comes to the path of bhakti, because bhakti is dealing heart to heart. When we have a relationship, we always try to maintain it, and the maintenance happens only when it is heart to heart. But on the superficial level, you cannot maintain any particular relationship. So here, this is the case of Sati, wherein she has totally discarded her body and it totally burns into ashes, and it is the relationship ends there. Similarly, when we also, during the Antyeshti Kriya, after the burning up of the body, the relationship with all our dear and near ones ends there. So that is why the relationships in the material world are just bodily attached. But soul to soul relationships happen when we take to the path of bhakti, because between the two partners, the third partner should be Krishna always. So when Krishna happens to be in between any relationship, that relationship, the bond of that relationship is quite strong. But otherwise, if Krishna is not there in between the two people, then what happens is that the relationship can be very dicey. It can lead to misunderstanding. It can lead to a temporary effect only. So this is how what we have to speak so far in this particular verse. The next verse is also, Prabhu, should I take up the next verse? Please advise, Prabhu. It is.
If you have time, Mataji.
Prabhu, we have to rush actually.
Okay, Mataji. Then we'll open to devotees any questions like that.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, devotees can please.
So this for second body, the soul went to Managasuyan, you said, Mataji.
Yeah, the purpose is saying so, Prabhu. Yeah.
Yeah. So Manaka is the mother of Mother Parvati?
Yeah, that is what that is Prabhu. See, there are so many commentations on this, but Prabhupada has taken only one commentary and said that this is what. But there are so many other different comments on this. Now,
actually, Lord Shiva first had Sati, and then later daughter of Himalayas, that is Parvati. So that Parvati's mother only Manava,
Yeah, Prabhu, if you remember in the verses of the Bhagavatam, I forget which canto it is. Himalayas previously used to fly and all, they had wings. I don't know if you have read that from the Bhagavatam. I forget the canto. Himalayas used to fly, and then there was one Rishi, somebody who cursed Himalayas that you cannot fly anymore, and all that was there. So therefore, he became stationed in the Bharata Varsha, Himalayas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Himalayas, then of course, as we know in the previous yuga, everything is a personified aspect. That is, Himalayas is also personified like human beings, how we are personified. So they have their own, family and everything. So according to this commentation, this is what is being said, that Menaka is the mother of Mother Sati, Mother Parvati. This is what is according to this commentation. But I have heard so many other comments also that Parvati of her own. Some commentation is also that she went to do her Tapo Shakti and she took birth again as Parvati, but she did her Tapo Shakti, and that is how she got Lord Shiva. So maybe there is an interconnection there, according to me, that is, she took birth as the daughter of the Himalayas, and then she went to do her Tapo. I mean, she did her austerities to get Lord Shiva as her husband. But her meditation was on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Yes, Prabhu?
Okay. In one thing, she's actually extra energy of the Lord Vishnu, right?
Yeah, yes, Prabhu. Yes.
That means she is a sister of the Lord Vishnu.
Yeah, yes. That is why she is given, even Jagannath Puri also, Mother Parvati is given that Mahaprasadam, that aspect you were being right. She demanded it because from Lord Shiva, because I know, being my Lord Krishna is close to me, how come I do not get? Lord Jagannath is close to me, how come I did not get Mahaprasad?
Yeah. Very good, Madhu. Thank you so much. And another question arises in our mundane perspective, but this question I just want to discuss here because this was discussed in some class before by Ajit Prabhu and this before also. The thing is, Shiva is there and she is quitting on her adult age, and then she taking another birth from another Nanaka, and
Ah,
she again marries to Shiva. So Shiva remains same, and she is taking another birth and growing and getting married. And then
yeah.
Prabhu said actually taking a birth and growing are all matter of 20 years, 25 years. And what was the age of those times? Human being, 1,000 years, 10,000 years. So this taking a birth under 20 years is nothing in compared to one lifetime. So otherwise, in Kali Yuga mundane perspective, we can think, how come Mataji left the body and then again taking birth, still the husband remains same. No, it's a mundane perspective. Then I think really gave a nice reply to that. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Devotees, any questions and
That is why even in the glories of the Bhagavatam, if you see, it is there, no, Prabhu, that Lord Shiva is, when Mother Sati is asking, how many skulls have you put like this? So Lord Shiva, isn't it so? So Lord Shiva says, all these are your skulls, so I have kept them to my heart. Each and every birth you take, that skull is there with me.
oh, nice. Chitravan Mataji, Sena Mataji, any questions? Yes, no, otherwise Mataji has another service to go.
No question, brother. No question. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhu.
Mataji. A wonderful
Yes.
class. At that time, one question was asked to Shiva, okay, okay, you have put all the skulls. I have taken different janmas. Then why didn't you undergo so many janmas?
Yeah. Yeah, because I heard the Bhagavatam, so now you hear the Bhagavatam so that you don't have to take birth again and again.
Okay.
So that is because he heard the Bhagavatam, therefore he doesn't have to take birth again. So this is to broadcast the importance of Bhagavatam.
Very nice.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Mataji, so go and take up your service. In spite of all your busy schedule, you are finding time for us. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Prabhu, next week also, I don't know. I think BB Maharaj's coming is here. So I don't know if we'll be held up, but I'll let you know. I think it is on a Friday, so I think Thursday should be okay. But yet I'll just confirm and let you know.
Yeah. The day or day before you can confirm, Mataji.
Yeah.
Maharaj is here now in Dubai.
Is it Hari? Prabhu, when you're paying obeisance for on our behalf also.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम ग्रंथराज की जय। श्री गुरुदेव की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय। जय हो श्री कृष्ण। Prabhu, please pray that the mission for which we are going, Prabhu, please pray that for the mission for which we are going, it should be successful.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji is going to give counseling and helping a sick baby of 2 years old, Mataji.
I think 1 or 2, I'm not clear about. I think two,
So
yeah, 2.
They are going for a congregational chanting and whatever spiritual strength they can give to their parents and child. So it's a really noble service, Mataji. We all pray for you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare
We'll
Krishna.
see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Uttam Damodar Prabhu's class. Please all join. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.